right. Okay. Just getting everything set up. But welcome to part 2 of this week's live stream. And on Tuesday, we had built the homepage for this new site template that I was working on. And I'll kind of just scroll through it, kind of show you what it looked like before. I added some images, added a little parallax effect onto that top image. Some icons, just kind of filling it out a little bit more, make it look more like a complete site. And basically we had the kind of theme of overlapping content boxes on top of these images. And these images, just as a reminder, it looked like they're overlapping because I'm using a transparent background gradient where one side is full color and the other side is transparent. So I was able to achieve that trick, and I'll be using that throughout. But yeah, so kind of polish this one up a little bit more. Still have a few more images to add, but goal today is to build more pages for this site template. If you'd like to join us in Discord, we're in there hanging out. When I say we, I mean myself at the moment, but you can join and chat with us, ask questions, and see what MakeSwift is all about. But let's continue on and start making some more pages. So I'm going to duplicate my homepage since I have a lot of the pieces in there that I want to reuse, including the header. Let's see, actually, what pages did I even have in here, or what pages did I have on top? I had services, case studies, about us. Okay, I'm gonna kind of jump to the about us page. So let's do that. That'll be the first one I work on. Let's duplicate the home page. Now we have an identical copy. And I can start reusing parts of this to make a whole nother page. So first thing I'm gonna do is make this header a little more specific to being about this company. Let's see, I'll leave this piece of text below it that you can use or you can get rid of if you'd like. And for this image, I'm gonna go ahead and remove it for now and just have it as a placeholder. But I'm probably gonna put like an image of a team or a company here, something like that. But this will be kind of like the same hero that I'll be using throughout. Okay, so let's see what else I want to keep or get rid of from this section. Probably gonna get rid of a few of these parts here. Let's see. I can always get rid of it for now and come back to it later, or as far as or grab it later from the homepage. So let's go ahead and get rid of the features and this one. And I'm going to keep this bottom section at the moment for the team area. So let's go ahead and just work on this. We'll work on this part first. And I'm going to focus just on one of these at to start, and that way I can reuse this first one. So we'll just give this one a name. And we'll say he's head of design. Let's put it back to how it was. And I'll go ahead and put a picture in here. I've already uploaded some photos I have on hand. And I will make sure it's sandwiched between that transparent gradient and just this purple background, which you could get rid of if you want to. It doesn't really serve a purpose anymore. Let's see. Okay. See if we get rid of the read more. Don't think we really need that. There we go. Makes it a little bit easier to see the photo as well. Let's see if I give it a little more top spacing. And it's just basically it's a background image, so I'm kind of dictating how much of the image is shown by adding that top spacing. And I actually want to tweak the gradient a little bit too. It's a little bit too high up for my taste. So let's put it at 10%, see what it looks like. It was at 15 before. Okay, that's a little better. Just a little bit of a overlap there is what I'm looking for. Okay, now I can delete some of these other ones and just kind of duplicate this section of this person's profile. And let me just think if I actually want these to be as tall as I do now. Because now that I have 4 to a row, I might actually want to bring these back down to like maybe 200. So obviously things look a little different when you start actually getting the real number of pieces that you want there. Okay, that looks good. And I think the white box is fine. If I'm being picky, I might have a little less space on the bottom. Just visually, it looks like there's a lot more space down below. But the other thing to keep in mind is that this could also get to be a longer name. So what would that look like if that was the case? Let's see. Okay, heading 4 style is the smallest one I've got so far. So what I could do, I might want to make these a little smaller. Or I could just leave them as 3 to a row, just to simplify a little bit. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and leave these as 3 to a row. Okay, now we don't have to worry as much about the length of the name. We can fit a lot more there. And let's go ahead and duplicate some more. Let's break this into a new row. Make sure we have some row gap there. Excuse me. Okay. So I'll probably just leave it as 6 people for the time being, but I'll go ahead and just change the images out just to make it look a little more unique per person. A trusty old team that I've been using across all my templates. They've been serving me well. And again, these images might look a little different depending on the orientation you have with your photos. And just a couple more. Let's pick him, and we'll finish off with her right here. Okay, so again, just reusing that pattern that we have of having this little bit of just like text overlap the image. Kind of one of our common design themes for this particular template. Okay. So we're back up here. And you know what I might do that I haven't quite done yet is actually add a background video. So I added a video to one of my previous templates before. And I'm now going to go find that video. Just looking on YouTube, I've added it on there. This is like one of our stock videos. All right. And let's add a background video. I don't think I've really done it yet. Okay. So certain streaming services are going to have their titles possibly show up. That's just kind of a thing you have to work around. YouTube is one of those, unfortunately. But I believe Vimeo does not do that. Okay, so I'll leave it as a video for now. Let's just try that out. You know what though, I think... Okay, no parallax. That works. Didn't want the parallax for that. Okay. So for this next section, thinking about kind of adding a part here. So not really calling it services, but let's call this one like values. Basically values of the company. Let's put it at the top. Let's change this one to be values container. I'm gonna also copy this text here, put our underneath meet the team. Let's add more spacing to separate those two. Let's make the sentence a little shorter. Okay. So let's see how I want to do this value section. Kind of just thinking it over at the moment. Okay, I think I might do more of a, maybe like a horizontal for each value thing here. Maybe it's just gonna be its own row. So let's give that a try. Let's see, just thinking through it. Okay, let's go and delete these. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to have the text be to the left of the image for the icon. So I'm going to put that in its own box. That way I can form these two columns where the text is together. Get rid of that inner spacing. I'm going to make this box much smaller. Let's change the distribution some. Okay, let's maybe say 600. We can make the image, yeah, we can go ahead and leave it center aligned like that. And maybe I want to vertically center. Yeah, it's vertically center like that. Let's add some column gap to make sure there's always space, no matter how small the screen gets. Okay, and I think actually, let me think again how if I do want to do it this way. You know, maybe it'll look like on top. Make this H3, H2, okay. Yeah, you know, we'll just have this one be kind of like a going down the center. I think that'll work for me. And let's use a divider that I use on the home page between these elements. Make that much smaller. And we'll make it yellow. Have a little bit of accent color. Okay, and let's see. So we'll call this one values list, since this will have each actual value in there. Yeah, and then if I duplicate this, again, still just kind of playing around with this idea. See if we change it up at all. Let's add a little bit of row gap between them. Let's see, I might actually make this a little bit even less wide. Oh, you know what? I think that's fine. I think 600 works. You can always change it up if you'd like. Okay. That's kind of a list of values. Again, just kind of giving a variety of layouts that you can use, that you could even change or replace with something else. If you feel like you like something else from a different part of the site, then just grab it and pop it in there as well. But that's at least giving you a little variety. Let's make this a little less spacious. Okay. That section works. We have the team section. Okay. I think home page is pretty good. That shows much more I really need to add. Okay, that works for me. Let's move on to our next page. And let's go ahead and duplicate this one since it's a little simpler. We'll go do the contact page. Okay, don't need that that video anymore. Let's see. I think what I want to do here. Okay. You know what? I'm actually going to go back to the home page. And I'm going to take this section that I created for features because I have an idea of what I'd like to do here. I'm going to have a section for I'm going to have a section that is going to include locations for this company. And I'm going to have several different locations. And I'm going to use this overlapping box as where I put the address. So let's see, let's maybe like make these smaller. Don't need to be as much space. Get rid of the image for now. Let's see, let's copy and paste. So you know what? I don't actually have a box in here for the text. So let me go do that first. Okay. Let's make it the same width. We've been using 1100 pixels. Gonna copy and paste. Actually, no, that was copy and paste. Be a little easier than dragging it. Okay. And again, just leave that text there, just in case you want to use it. Okay, and I'm gonna drop another box in here. I'm gonna call this one locations list. Oops. And this box will have the row gap. I'll say 100. So I think at the moment, our main box has that row gap, and I don't really want it to be on our big background section box. Okay. So let's take this one location. Let's move it into the location list box. And let's go and delete this second one we had before. And I'm still gonna use I'm gonna use a background image to showcase that location. Maybe it's the interior of an office or the cityscape, whatever that city's gonna be. So let's go ahead and just start applying some of these. So we'll say New York, and we'll just make up an address to put here. And we'll make the button, we'll say get directions, and that could just be a link, open URL. I can do something to Google Maps. You can easily just grab that from Google and just put that in. So, all right, so that's gonna be our template for the other locations. So I'll just start duplicating these. We'll say 3 locations, start bringing them closer. Okay, yeah, I think 80 looks pretty good. And I'm not gonna alternate these. I'm gonna keep these kind of same alignment. Easily could. I guess I'll just alternate just to show you what it would look like. So if I want to alternate these, just a reminder of what I did last time. Just take this little caret, flip it to the other side, select this white box, and then just drag that to the left. So now we have reversed boxes there. Give it a little bit of, I might keep it that way then. Okay. Let's see, let's change these a little bit just to show some love for our own hometown. And we'll say the last one is in Paris. I don't know actual city codes for Paris, so we'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, so those are our locations. And there's another idea too. You couldn't really put a Google map in here, but if you wanted to have an image of a Google map, you could use that as your background too. So that's a little design idea you could use. Okay, so the other thing we need, obviously very important, would be a form. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this value section because we don't need that. And I think instead of this image here, instead of having an image, let's go ahead and remove that inner spacing. But I'm going to leave the box. I think I'm going to use this box as the form. And I'm going to do something kind of similar I did on that. Actually, let's see, maybe I want to grab that page, or that part of the page on the home page. Down below, I had this section here. So I think I might want to have something like this. Maybe these lines go to maybe like a different person you could reach out to or contact. Let's see, let's go ahead and try it out. Let's copy this whole box here. Go back to the contact page. And I'm going to delete this one. And we'll call this one's actually form background. Okay. Don't need this image. Get rid of that. I think I'm going to keep this. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this purple here though. And let's not match height. This one to be by default. So let's see how this starts looking. So, okay, I'm gonna just put, actually for one, I'm gonna make this much smaller. This is a little too big. Let's get rid of one of these boxes. Actually, let's get rid of a few of them because we don't need all these. You know what, I'll start with one. That's all I need. Let's get rid of this inner spacing. Okay, let's add inner spacing down below here. Okay, so I'm going to drop a form into this box. Let's give this box some inner spacing. Let's go ahead and add a table. Let's make this a regular subscribe form. Okay. Style, let's see what happens if I make it the dark version. I think I'm going to keep it white, but I'm going to make the text labels. Going to make those white. I'll use this beige. Okay. Make them regular. Let's go ahead and set some font styles on there. Space out our form. Let's have last name, first name. So I'm going to get rid of name up top because I'm going to have a first name and last name. And we'll move company under message. So I'll keep this form looking kind of bigger. And as far as buttons go, I want to copy this button style I have down below for my submit button. So for the label, I'll leave it as submit, but I'm going to make it an outline. Let's make the button width. Let's go 100%. And button color actually won't matter because we're not going to have anything there, but I'm going to leave it as white. We want it to be all caps. Go with railway. I think I'm using bold. Yep, bold and 12 pixels. And this one's gonna be white, obviously, because you can't use the black on that background. There we go, button text color, or button color. So I'm actually gonna make this one the yellow. And where's the button style? There, okay, there we go. Okay, and form style, I want it to be sharp edges, not rounded. Perfect. And button text 12, okay, finish that up. Okay, there we go, so that looks a little bit more like what we have down here, button-wise. What if we go with a smaller form? It's pretty good, not too small. Okay. Then on the right, let's see, what would companies kind of do here? Fikri joining the Discord chat. Let's see. Let's say like department for now. And we'll do like info@companyname.com. We'll say department at company name. And let's do like phone number. And let's duplicate that a couple times. And for this box, we'll go ahead and actually vertically align those so they're always center. Okay. You know, let's do heading 4 for these, just so they're a little bit smaller. I want to make sure they don't go too big. Okay, that works. And let's just bring the spacing in just a little bit. And I realized I had totally about page, so we'll be returning to that, but I'll go ahead and finish doing my mobile styling on this page. While I'm at it, so let's switch over to tablet. Whoop. So let's clear tablet styles, make sure it comes back to the mobile or to the desktop version. Let's remove a little bit interspacing. Okay. And let's add spacing back to there. Okay, so it still looks pretty good, not too tight. Let's see if I maybe bring it to 30. Here we go. Small difference, but I think it helps. Okay, so the next section, so fortunately for these, there's not much I have to do. I think the spacing, no, yeah, the spacing is the same as it was, okay. I think for this I might bring them down a little bit, just so I'm not taking up so much space. And again, they're gonna be kind of like abstract photos, so I don't think we'll be like cutting off anyone's heads or anything like that. Okay, so that is on tablet. So again, pretty simple page, not too much content. And mobile, let's do the same thing. Let's basically revert all these styles back to what we had on desktop, so it looks good. I think the departments look pretty good. That's the same thing I had going for the home page with that section. And what are we using? 60, okay. Let's see, I might go and start another. Okay, I think that's what I was doing before as well on the home page. So we'll leave it kind of flush with the right side. But let's bring these in some, maybe even a little more. There we go. Okay. That looks good. And if I want to, I guess I could. If I want to do the whole flipping sides, I could do that too. A little more subtle here, but that's okay, that works. All right, footer is taken care of already since we did that with the home page, so I don't have to worry about that, which is very nice. And obviously I'll probably have to change a few things once I actually get some real photos in there, but this looks good as it is. So I'm gonna now, let's check, make sure everything looks good on tablet and desktop. So that does look good. Nothing got changed or moved around. And desktop looks good as well. So this will definitely look good once we get some actual photos in there. I might come in at the end to do that, but for now I'll just kind of leave them as placeholders. So let's go back to the about page and let's make sure this looks good on other devices. Don't want that to happen. Yeah, I'm probably definitely gonna have to switch that video or use a different service for that because it does not look as good when YouTube shows their titles like that, which is unfortunate. What I could maybe do to trick it, if I do the zoom, let's see. I'll refresh the page. It did trick it a little bit. All right, I know I'm doing a live stream. Thank you. Okay, so we had this on desktop. So now let's switch over to tablet and see how everything looks. Bring that a little bit more. Okay, a few things to change here. Don't need the row gap. Let's make sure this is using our desktop style. So simple clearing of the tablet styles will work. Okay, looks pretty close to desktop. Don't really need to change it at the moment. Okay, so for the photos, let's bring some of these people onto the same row. Don't want them to be completely on their own row, but that looks pretty good just by doing that. So that's fortunate for us. Okay, so tablet looks good, and if we switch to mobile, there will hopefully be even less stuff to do. Again, just clearing that style. It's already all stacked up, so looks good on mobile. And for the people, it's just using its own mobile styles here, so I need to reset it, revert it to desktop, which is what it's pulling from. So very easy to do. So if that happens, you don't freak out and think that all your stuff got deleted. It's just probably using mobile styles. Okay, so that looks good. I think on most phones, these will actually be, the screen won't be as wide, so I'm actually not gonna worry about adding more top spacing. I think it'll look more something like this, if I had to guess. Probably more like that, 375, as you see on the right. So that's like what a typical iPhone looks like. Yeah, so that works pretty well for me. Obviously everything's very fluid, so easy to, you know, set things once and have them just kind of resize very easily, depending on different device modes. Okay, you know, actually I do want to bring these. You know what? Here's one thing. Yep, got changed a little bit on tablet, so I'm reverting that back to desktop, which makes it look a little better. Same thing, just need to revert. Again, you've heard me say it before, but obviously the perks of doing one thing first, like one person first or one this, which is not that hard, but obviously takes out a little bit of the work to make sure you do it one time right and then duplicate it from there. Once we add global elements, this will be much easier to do because you'll be changing it in one place. And it'll just propagate to all the other ones. So looking forward to that getting that feature out very, very soon. All right, so the About Us page looks good on mobile, looks good on tablet, and looks good on desktop. All right. So the next page, so we had case studies and services. Let's see. Which one do I want to do first? Okay, I think I'm going to start with, the about, actually I'm going to start with the, let's start with the homepage. Actually, I'm going to do that. Start with the homepage. So let's duplicate this one again. We'll do the services first. Okay. Let's hop in here. Let's remove this image for now, just so you can see what it would look like as a placeholder. And I'm going to get rid of this services section there. And what I could do, see, I'll just go ahead and add that bottom spacing there. Always keep it separate. I was thinking if I want to overlap it or not, but I don't think I want to do that with this particular design. Okay, now for each of these sections, we're going to have our services listed. So I'm going to delete this one. Going to delete case studies and going to delete this bottom section as well. This again will be kind of like the same, similar to what we did for the locations. We're using this section, and let's call it service one, just so we can see that. And let's go, we can leave the photo for now. I think it's okay. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll switch it out with a different photo we have in here. Yeah, let's use this photo. Okay. So now I'm going to just close some of the space a little. Don't want it to be so open. So this is a service, and then within here, I'm going to do kind of a bunch of, I'm going to do a kind of a mini grid of different services provided. One second, my dog is trying to get in. Don't want her to be barking out the window. Just ignore her for now. Okay, so I'm gonna create a bunch of little, kind of have like some mini sections. Actually, kind of taking what I had at first. So actually, you know what? Let me go back to the home page and grab this box here. Actually, no, let me grab all these boxes. This would be perfect. Again, just reusing what you have and finding different places to put it. It's one thing that's great about Makeswift. Very easy to reuse, which I highly recommend because it saves you a lot of time. Okay, so that obviously does not look good at the moment. Go ahead and make this a little bit, a little wider. Let's try 500. And I'm definitely gonna start getting rid of some content. So let's increase the row gap, decrease that gap. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is let's make these icons a little smaller. And let's see, let's use heading 4 for this one. It is going to be an H3. And I don't even know if I really need this text. I think I can kind of just keep it more like this. Let's get rid of all this text. Just matching all the styles. Okay. Let's see, is that how I want it to look? I feel like missing some of that text that we had before. Let me go back and grab that text again. Now, obviously could go and just like drop a text block in there. Just use a paragraph. Just something I usually do is just kind of go in and grab the text. Okay. Do we want the header there? Maybe we don't want the header. Maybe it's just the actual text. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. What would it look like if I put those dividers in there? Again, kind of bring in that same pattern I was using before. Yeah, adds a little bit of kind of a nice visual element there. I think I can even close the row gap some. And with that divider there, it kind of makes it look like there's enough space. I could probably even bring this up some, because again, that divider is providing some space below it. Let's see if I can tighten it up. Okay, yeah, we're getting there. Something we can start reusing. And let's do that just a little bit more. I think we really need a lot less height there for that divider, but that's okay. If I make these a little smaller, let's see if 40 looks too small. 40 actually works. Let's shrink the row gap a little more. Again, just kind of tweaking here and there. Okay. Okay. So there we go. We have our first service section. So let's go ahead and duplicate this, duplicate a couple times. Let's switch this around. Grab the box, put it on the left side. You know what? Forget my own advice. Before I even do this, before I duplicate anything, let's make sure this looks good on tablet. I'm going to be duplicating a lot. Okay, so at the moment, that's not what I want it to look like, really. So I want to keep these up next to each other to start. Okay. Might start getting a little bit more difficult to start fitting things together or have the images show. But again, if they're more like abstract images, might not really matter as much. Maybe wanna, yeah, there we go. Like using style set for tablet on the other page, which I don't want. You know, I think I just want to bring them up a little bit more even. Let's say 15. Okay, it's getting a little bit of space, little by little. Let's see if I bring this up some. Okay. Not too bad. But if I, okay, it doesn't really change too much, so that's fine, we'll leave it as it is. All right, let's switch to mobile. So on mobile, I am gonna be stacking it like this. So let's see, it can be a little difficult. I'm gonna just kind of keep those like that, which is okay. Might actually work. Yeah, that could work for now, I think. Let's add our spacing while we're here. Make that 80 and make that 60. And I'll come back through later and do it. Okay, so I think this service section, I think that works pretty well how it is. Let's make sure it's synced up with the okay, so what I need, that's why it actually changed, because I had the background gradient going a different direction. So now it's set it for mobile, so that's why the image is kind of stuck for mobile, quote unquote. So once you get your actual images in there, you'll want to make sure on mobile it's using the same image as well. Okay, so back to reusing these services. Now they're styled properly for tablet and mobile. So I'm going to go to the second one. We're going to reverse the order. So flip the gradient and drag the box all the way to the left. And I'm going to copy and paste this box at the end here, since I've already done it. Okay. I wonder if I even want this image here. Yeah, you know, I might just go, yeah, I might just leave it that way. I might just kind of remove that image. instead it goes straight into the services. I don't think I really need that one there. Okay, so now just need to find different images for each one of these, but worry about that later. Okay, let me make sure this looks good on tablet and mobile. Go. Row gap, yeah, that looks good. Enough space between them. And then on mobile, I think I'm fine leaving it to the right like that. Okay. See, I might close this gap a little bit. 60 is kind of a lot. Yeah. I don't need spacing below that anymore. Okay, so that's mobile and tablet and desktop. Okay. All right, so that's the services page. And I'll be back in just 10 minutes to work on the case studies page. I might create a case studies detail like I did in the last template we worked on. So give me 10 minutes and I'll be right back. There we go. Forgot to turn my microphone on. I was sitting here wondering why my input wasn't getting received. Okay, so I am back. Had to make myself a little bit of coffee, so I can keep this party going now. Okay, so where we left off was I had just finished up doing the services page, and the next page that we are going to work on is going to be the case studies page. So let's see, I think I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the services page to start off with. Actually, you know what? I think I might actually take the about page. Yeah, let's do that. Let's use the about page. Oops. Need to duplicate that. So let's duplicate the about page, call it case studies. Make sure we got our hyphens in there. Okay. And let's go in here and start reusing some of these pieces. So first thing I don't need this video anymore. Don't need these values for this page. I think what I'm going to use is going to be the kind of like a version of this Meet the Team. Let's see, I don't think I need, what's the header about? All right. And I don't think I need this text because kind of what the above text does. And I'm also going to start deleting some of these parts here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have rows of 2. So again, kind of just creating a different kind of layout. Okay. You know what, let's play around. I want to see what it might look like if I keep the, well, it might be a little too, let's see, let's go to the home page. Just grab one of these boxes I have here. Let's put it up top. It's not news anymore. Oop, let's change this. Call it case studies. Case studies container, and then case studies list. Okay, and this first one, you know, don't really need to name it. Let's go and remove that one for now. Okay, now what would this look like if I put them next to each other? You know what? Might not look quite as good. I think I might want like a combination of the two. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this bottom kind of more in the center. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get rid of the image first. And let's copy and paste, oops, some of this content in here. Go and delete that one. And I'll leave that. Let's do button text. We'll say view case study. Let's use the H3 style for that one. And we'll say this one is like service name. And let's tweak our spacing a little bit here. And what I might do, just to change it up some, let's go ahead and make it back to 400. I think that's what I had here, right? 400, yeah, did actually have 400. And then let's make that be right aligned. So slightly different way of overlapping, but I think it's okay. Okay. And let's go ahead and throw an image in here just so I can get a better idea of what it would look like in the end. And let's use our image from the home page, but we'll be changing that. Yeah, and let's make sure the gradient is on top. So again, make that little overlap by doing that. Okay, and we can go ahead and duplicate it, get rid of this one. Let's get rid of these two up here. And let's duplicate these a couple more times. Make our little grid here. And let's just do it 2 more times. We'll get 6 case studies. Oh, you know what? Again, let me catch myself here. Before I do that, let's make sure we check it on tablet and mobile. And fortunately, they actually look pretty good. So in that case, I'm good with how I had it before. Oops. Yeah, we could do something like that. Have like a little different amount per row. Yeah, you don't want to keep it equal. Keep it equal. There we go. What I could do is have a featured case study at the very top. Maybe for that one, actually use that same kind of style we had from the home page. Or it's maybe something like that. The only thing is I definitely get it. It's a little bit strange, I guess, with the space on the right side. Doesn't really line up visually, but you know. Oh, you notice I think I'd like these to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think so. So in that case, let's just redo these really quickly. I think I want these to be a little bit different. Okay. Oops. Okay, actually. So yeah, maybe we do something like that. So we'll have like one featured at the top. You know, give a little more spacing to the bottom of this one. Just to give it a little separation. Okay. They don't want it to be as much space below. Yeah, bring it a little closer. Need to change it on the other pages, but do it here first. You know, and maybe here, actually we'll give this an H2. Make that one kind of bigger. Let's see. There we go. I'll say maybe it'll be on 2 lines. Okay. So there's some case studies, and let's drop in another section. Give this one a background of that beige color. Let's match the sides, and again, usually I would be copying and pasting this, but just showing you how to do it from scratch. Actually, I'm going to leave the top spacing as 0 because I want to kind of almost blend in with the top here. I don't need double the amount of spacing. Let's add another box inside. So actually this first one let's call, clients. We'll call this one clients container. Make this one 1100 pixels wide, like we've done for the rest of the pages. Oops, keep going. Okay, remove the inner spacing. Let's copy this H2 text. Actually, no, I'll copy the heading 3 text. Let's center align it. Add some more spacing down below. And I'm just gonna make a little logo grid here of other clients. So I'm gonna pop an image in. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and upload some stock logos that I have. So let's see, we'll call this one logos. And let me pick my logo files. Here we go. Let's pick some black ones. Let's go ahead and upload all of them. They're now uploading. And I'll go ahead and pick this one here. Let's go ahead and resize it so we kind of start getting more consistent size or more realistic size with each one. Let's make the opacity lower so that way it's not a solid black. And now let's copy and paste this. Actually, you know what? I need one more box first though, so I kind of keep these logos separate. And again, you don't have to, but I kind of like having, you know, if I'm gonna have a list of things, I like having them in their own box. That way I can have a little more control over it without affecting other elements like this that won't be in that box necessarily. So we'll call this one logo, or client list actually. We'll keep it similar to the other one. And let's drop in the logo. And let's copy and paste this logo to the right, which I think I might have missed it. Let's try it again. Let's paste it inside of client list. There we go. Now if I duplicate it, that works. Have 4 to a row. Okay. Adding some row gap and some column gap. Not that I even see what it looks like yet. Okay, and now let's paste this one below, create a new row, and paste that one again to the right side, and duplicate that as well. All right, so now we've got 8 logos so far. Let's just quickly go in there and start. Let's just replace them with some other real logos, just to give it more of a realistic vibe. Just selecting some random ones from here. For anyone wondering what Publix is, that is a local grocery store. Or not so local, but you know, probably don't have it everywhere. So in case you're wondering what that one is compared to Google or Disney. Okay, and we'll do Instacart for the last one. Okay, and the last thing I want to do here is I want to make sure they're all vertically aligned center, which looks good. All right, and if I wanted to, I could always, you know, add another row here of more logos, just doing that same process, but I think we're good at the moment. I'm gonna go in there and tweak some of the size of them if they look a little too big, but they look pretty good. Obviously these logos are all kind of similar in proportion anyway, so that helps out. But okay, so that section looks good. All right, so the next thing to do will be to check this on tablet and mobile. And again, not too big of a page, so it makes it a little bit easier to do that. Okay, we definitely got a little bit of work to do, but not too bad. Let's see. All right, for this one, let's get rid of that inner spacing, make it more like what it was on the desktop version. Let's close up that gap a little. Let's select this box and let's break these up, leave them as 2 to a row. I think that works how it is. And I guess if you feel like these are too tall, we can always kind of come in here and shrink that top padding a little bit just so you see maybe a little more of the image and don't take up as much space vertically. Since it's an iPad, it gets a little bit smaller. And let's maybe make that space a little bit smaller as well. Okay, so we have our tablet version for that top part. You know, I think for the case study or for the clients, I think that looks pretty good as is. Just want to make that smaller to match what we've been doing, using 80 pixels as our general spacing for tablets. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You know, maybe I might make it a little smaller. Yeah, that works. And now let's switch to mobile. Make sure kind of add our spacing back there with the box instead of the text. And now, let's see, I'm gonna essentially mimic this bottom part for this featured case study. So instead, have it be on the bottom. And that's actually all I need to do, which is pretty nice. And I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that spacing below, don't really need it. And now it's gonna look kind of just like one of these case studies, but on mobile, I think that works. And then for the logos, let's see, could I leave these as, I guess on smaller screens, it might be a little small. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start breaking them. Ooh, okay, there we go. Got that space, perfect. And let's just kind of get them closer to each other. Probably a little too close. Don't need all that row gap, it's a little much. Okay. Bring that spacing down a little. And let's match what we've been using, which is 60. Okay. So mobile for our case studies view looks good. Check back on tablet. 80 looks good. And on desktop, looks good. So there we go. 1, 2, 3. Desktop, tablet, mobile. Now, what I'm going to work on is I'm going to create an actual case study detail view. And I'm going to do that actually reusing this page. We can actually reuse it and then create our detail view from that. So let's duplicate it. And this will be more of like an actual template that you can use and keep duplicating for every case study you want to add here. All right, let's hop in here. So let me think. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is give it a case study name. And we're not going to need these boxes here like that. And I'm actually going to drag this box up to the case study, or up to the hero. So I want that to be part of the hero. Don't need the clients anymore. So our content area is going to be right in there. Let's get rid of that outer spacing. Don't need the button. And I'm going to use this white area for kind of like highlights of information about this particular client. Okay. So we'll say a case study for that one. Don't need that box, actually. So case study container. Okay, and for this case study container, I'm gonna make this one a lot smaller. Let's actually go with like 7, let's go with 750. That'll be where all the content is actually gonna live. Okay. So let's go ahead and, you know what, let's work on this top section first. And you know what, I'm actually gonna take a different part of another page. I think it was in the services. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of borrow what we have here. I'm gonna copy this box. Again, said it before, say it again. Reuse what you got. Let me make sure it's, there we go, in its own part. So let's make this one 400 to match. Don't need this one. Don't need the name up here. Get rid of that. And really all I'm gonna have here, I think it's just text. So I don't think I really need images. You could leave images if you want, but all I'm gonna be putting here is kind of like just highlights of this company. So, you know, say like maybe like services provided. The industry. Let's see, commerce. Say location of the company. So we'll say like Austin, Texas. And we'll say like how big the company is. So we'll say like, you know, 400 employees. So let's see. You know what, I think I do like the icons being there. Just adds a little bit of something extra. So let's bring those back in. I'll just do it manually. Can't remember how big they were before. Let's try 40. Let's go ahead and put it in there. And obviously we'll find different icons for this one. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and grab them from the other page because I forget exactly what the styles look like on them. Be a lot easier to do it this way. Okay, case study detail. All right, now we just paste it back above the text. Maybe a little bit less space. Actually, let me copy this one. And each one of these icons would just, you know, be more related to the actual information. So it's like a map marker, that'd be like a people icon. So we'll do those for now. Let's make this a little bit smaller. And you know what? Don't need this to be the beige color anymore. So for that, I'm going to make it white. And again, really easy to change that and just overlap these two stops onto each other to get that hard line. But you know what? Now I'm kind of losing that contrast with the white box, so I'm gonna undo this. And I'm gonna drag this box back down below, but I don't want it to be in the case study container, so I'll just leave it up above. So it would be kind of its own width. And now I can just add some bottom margin there. And get rid of that inner spacing, or the outer spacing, I mean. Okay. And let's make it a little bit slimmer, just so we're not taking up as much space. Okay. That looks good. Now I have a little more contrast for that white background. Could have been fine above, but you know, it's little details that matter. All right, so for the next step, let's go ahead and drag in some text content there. So first thing, just start from scratch a little, make the width maximum. Let's get rid of, let's have like a subheader and text blocks right below. So we're gonna make this one an H, let's make an H3 or heading 3. Sorry if I'm confusing people by mixing up my terms like that. And for this one, we'll use our paragraph style. So again, one of the benefits of using typography, highly recommend it. Let's make that one be a little bit less space there. Let's say this is a subheader, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to lorem ipsum. I'll grab some lorem ipsum from the site here, so I can have longer paragraphs. Again, just to give it more of a real feel to it. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna make this 20 pixels again, so they're all gonna be 20 pixels like that. You know, you could make each one of these text blocks a separate block, but for me, when I'm doing them, well, if they're the same, just paragraph style, I'll just use a, you know, hit enter to make them have a line break. Not as much control between the space in between, but you know, I think it does the job. Okay, well, let's just add some variety here, and let's add just some more text. And let's just grab a different amount of text. You don't need all that. Okay, and you know what? I'm actually thinking I might want this to be maybe a little bit smaller. Maybe it's like 700. Okay. And for this subheader, I'm gonna add another 20 above. Just, oops, grab that there. Just to have more space between them. Okay, and then let me make this a much smaller gap. I want it to be closer. How wide is this box here? I have it as 1100. Okay, I think that's fine. Keep it wider. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna add a testimonial box that is right below this one. So this is a pretty common design element, or an element you'll see inside of case studies, is having some, you know, testimonials from the case study themselves, from the people that are about the case study's about. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an image, and that'll be, actually let me name this box too, say testimonial. And this image, let's go ahead and choose one of the team images that I have in here. See, I don't think I used this person before, so we can just use them now. Actually, you know what? I want to use a different image. I want it a little more close up. Yeah, let's use this one of her. Let's see. Okay. And then I'm going to add another box to the right of the image. This is where I want to have my content. Let's go ahead and vertically align and add that column gap. And I know I'm definitely want to have the image be a lot smaller. This kind of header, remove the spacing around it. And let's grab some more Lorem Ipsum here, just as like a short little quote. Let's use the heading 4 so it's not quite as big. All right, let's add bottom and top spacing. And let's grab one of these text elements here and just put it below this text, and we'll say it's who the person who is saying it. So, oops, Shelley Long. Say account executive. We could even maybe bold this one to add a little hierarchy there. Okay. Let's see if I want to make this photo maybe a little bit smaller. Let's see. And what if I don't vertically align it, leave it up top? Let's make it full width again. So let me try this. Let me try getting rid of the column gap, and instead let's put left padding on this box. Okay. Let's do this instead. Let's go ahead and put a box. I'm just playing with some styles. I haven't really created as many image styles here. Put that there. What if I give this a border with that yellow? And make that smaller again. Not too bad. That could work. Yeah, I might actually like it a little bit bigger like that. At that point, if I do center align it, yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. So that is the case studies detail. I think that's pretty good as far as let's see, let's add a little more. Actually, nope, need to do it on mobile and tablet first, so before I think I'm done. Okay, so just looking over on desktop. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Again, simple, but I think gets the job done. But you know what? I probably want to have a link that goes back to the case studies. Or even, I'll do something different. Let's grab one of these buttons I've added here. And let's maybe create like a previous case study, next case study type deal. So let's see. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop another box into the case study container. Get rid of the inner spacing. Let's call this one actions. Let's drop the button in there. Go ahead and give this whole button box its own spacing above. We'll say previous case study. Paste to the right. Let's right align it, and we'll say next case study. So that could be one way of giving people a way to go back and forth between them, or to keep them reading. Let's see. I don't think I actually like that as much. Not quite. You know, let's just remove that. Change my mind. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab one of these sections on here. One of these, I'll grab this case studies box. I'm going to create a more case studies section down below. So I'm going to, let's go ahead and paste this here. One second. Let's do this. Let's go back to the case studies page first. Let me grab this client section because I want to use something like that. Paste it down below. And let's get rid of case studies list. Make sure we click on the container. Let's change the name for that container as well. And now let's go back to case studies. And now let's grab this box again. And we're going to grab the box and paste it in, but then just only use a couple of those. There we go. So we can delete this top one and delete these other two. And maybe we'll have 3 in there. Do 200. Okay, so that would be a way to kind of get people to read more case studies. So there we go. Looks pretty good. And now let's check this on tablet. Top section looks good. This next section, let's see, I might maybe make it a little bit smaller. Increase that bottom spacing some. A little too much. Do 40. See, these are a little bit tight. So maybe let's just do like 1 up top, 2 below. That works. Make sure we got 80. Okay. What is this spacing here? Okay, there's actually a 700. Just, that's funny how how much smaller it looks on tablet, or like it looks like it's changing, but it's really not changing much at all. Okay, and then let's check on mobile. Let's close that gap a little bit. Let's just try to bring it closer together. Let's add the spacing back in there. I'm gonna leave these 2x2s. I think I should be able to fit, no problem. Text looks good. Let's see, for this particular section, what if we align it to the top? No, don't love it as much. Let's see if we decide to stack it. Get rid of that left inner spacing. Oh, moved it a little too quickly. Okay, looks pretty good. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's center align this one. Center align it. Let's center align the text as well, just so it kind of stands a little bit more. You know, it doesn't need to be an H2. And we can make this one definitely smaller. Okay, there you go. Now it looks a little more separated as a testimonial. Okay, and this bottom part looks good. And let's check again on tablet. Make sure nothing got moved around. Looks good. And back to desktop. We're looking good. And that gets us right to 4 o'clock. So we just completed a good amount of pages actually in under 2 hours. Let's say I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages in under 2 hours. So that is not too shabby for putting together a site. So with that, I'm gonna leave you to join MakeSwift and hopefully build your own templates based on what I just showed you. Use these templates as they appear in the library. I need to finish this one up, add some more photos and text, clean it up some. But as far as pages go, I think I've got all the pages in there that I need, so just need to finish it up and hopefully get it in the library very soon. Our next live stream is on Thursday. Oh, sorry, I was on Tuesday. It is Thursday, almost end of the week. All the days just blend together now. So Tuesday, I'll be back again, building another template. Maybe I'll change it up, try something a little bit different, or try to do something other than a template. But again, come hang out with us on Tuesday and join us in Discord if you want to chat with us or ask any questions about MakeSwift in particular. But we'll see you very soon. So enjoy your weekend.